Hi everyone, my name's Pieta Valentine and I've written 2 books, The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit. Today's video is on helping mum when she gets a chest infection. Now, it's very difficult in dementia units when residents get chest infections because there's no isolation like there is in a hospital. So in a hospital, people get masked. If not, they're isolated to their room, the door's shut, other residents won't go in, and so at least that area is contained. But that's not the case in a dementia facility because you can't actually contain someone to their room. They won't abide with that. And the wanderers in a dementia unit will just keep going from room to room anyway. So if you want to have a resident isolated to their room, then they need to have 24/7 care, which, you know, it's maybe for 1 or 2 people that might be possible, but to do that for a whole unit is not. So like for COVID, once it hit, there was no isolation and, you know, everybody got it. So that's the same with chest infections. You know, residents, if one person gets a chest infection, they'll just be sitting and coughing amidst all the other residents. And unfortunately, you know, nose hygiene and coughing and, you know, encouraging people to put their hand over their mouth or elbow over their mouth when they cough is, you know, a lot of reminding's needed. And even tissues are not readily available. The more astute residents will, you know, gather a whole lot of serviettes after their meal and put them in their walker, so that's good. But people that haven't got a walker, you know, to store the tissues in, haven't got that. So noses are dribbling and all that infection's going everywhere. So staff are always running around getting tissues from the kitchen or wherever to give to residents. And then, of course, you need to get rid of those as well. But I think the best thing you can do is just have a pile of tissues, you know, thick, good, strong tissues, I would say all year round, frankly, beside the bed of your mother, or another box of tissues in her walker. At least she has those available, you know, because it's distressing when you're coughing and you want to have a tissue and then there's none available and you can't get a staff nurse to get one. It's just another stress on top of many others. And the more stresses you can eliminate or challenges for people in dementia facilities, you know, the better they can manage, like all of us, when we can problem solve our way through the day. Okay, now the next thing is that if mum has actually got a chest infection, say, now, and she's coughing, and you can hear the gurgle, you know, that happens with the phlegm when it gets stuck in the chest, there is a physiotherapy technique that you can do to really help her with her breathing. And I'm a physiotherapist, so that's why I'm explaining this to you. Okay, now, say she's sitting in the lounge or sitting anywhere and you can hear the rattling and she's trying to cough it up, but she's having difficulty and you can, you know, she's almost choking on the phlegm and is distressed. How do you get rid of that? How do you help? Well, often people will get them a glass of water, but if you're choking on the sputum, then, you know, that's no good. So what you do is say, you know, Mum, everything's all right. I'm here to help. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a couple of gentle bangs on the back so that you could cough this out. So when I'm patting on your back, give a couple of good coughs and let's see if we can get rid of it. So the technique, this is on the back, not too hard, just gently. Now, the hand is cupped, you can see here, and the noise is like this. You can hear the cupping sound. It's a very specific hollow cupping sound. It's actually quite a relaxing technique to have someone, you know, do this on you. So, okay, so your mother's there, she's leaning forward a little bit, and gently on the upper back, you're just giving her some gentle, we call it cupping, percussion, cupping techniques on the back. And ask her to cough at the same time. Come on, Mum, have a good cough, and I'm just clapping your back, patting you on the back so that you can get rid of that sputum. Now, have an ice cream container or, you know, something else around, or maybe a little container of some sort that you can throw away afterwards. That would be the best thing, or plenty of tissues that you can put in an ice cream container and then throw those out. Have everything available. And all the other residents will really appreciate this, by the way, because they get really distressed, the more able ones, when, you know, people's nose is streaming and they're coughing all over them, and, you know, they know that it's bugs and that they're going to get infected. So they're always saying, you know, put a hand over your mouth and get a tissue. And so if you can help with this, and, you know, if someone else is coughing, you can give them a few tissues. That's a help. Probably, if I was a relative, I would wear a mask in these circumstances when, you know, chest infections are about, and even surgical gloves. I mean, there's always surgical gloves or around in the rooms, and at least you keep yourself protected, because, you know, bugs are rife because of the reasons I've explained in a dementia facility, and we don't want the relatives, you know, getting it, because you're the ones caring, aside, you know, as well as the nurses and carers at the facility, you're caring for your mother, so you need to keep well. Okay, so the next thing is, if your mother's lying down and she's trying to cough and she's unable to get the sputum out, what you can do is, if she's lying on her side, you can do the cupping again and ask her to have a good cough. But if it's not coming out and you can see that she's, you know, quite distressed with it, what you can do is you can do what we call compressions. So lightly put one hand at the top of the chest here and one hand at the back of the chest here, and ask your mother to breathe in. And as she breathes out, you go, you give gentle, you be careful because elderly people have, you know, more fragile ribs, but just gently, just go. As she breathes out, just give a little bit of gentle percussion. So breathe in, mum, and breathe out. And ask her to cough. And when she coughs, just give a little bit of compression like this. It's just a wee bit of, you know, just a couple of pounds pressure to just support her cough. And that will assist her, you know, thoracic muscles and, you know, all the pectoral muscles and everything else that's used for coughing. So this is a way to, sorry about that, son. This is a way to be able to help your mother when she's having a chest infection and when she's unwell, and encourage her to lie in bed. A lot of the time when the residents are unwell, typically they go to the lounge. Come what may, however they are feeling, they will go to the lounge. It's incredible. In a hospital or the nursing home, when people are unwell, they tend to stay in their room. But in a dementia facility, off they go to the lounge and all the bugs are spread because they like the company of everybody. So, but encourage her to stay in her room. And if you're there with her or someone else from the family to keep her company, no doubt she's more likely to stay there. So these are the techniques that you can do to help mother be less distressed. So your mother's less distressed and she can cough out that sputum and be clear of that so she can breathe more easily. You will be more distressed because you can see she can breathe and she, you know, is more relaxed because she can. So all these little techniques, if you can have them at hand to be able to help your mother or your father or relative or friend in a dementia facility, then we're better equipped to be able to help with these practical techniques, to have them on hand to assist. There's always something you can do. And, you know, it's more empowering when you're educated in all of these techniques. It's empowering, and knowledge is power. And we will feel more relaxed in the dementia facility too. You know, when we can go and help mum and do something constructive, it makes a really big difference. And so that's why I'm doing these videos to explain all this to you, so that you can have a better experience in the dementia facility and help the residents there. So thank you for your likes and your subscriptions and your interest and your comments. And please subscribe so we can get this channel up and running. I'm really grateful for your views. You know, it is happening. And so thank you very much.